All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Kind of Athletic podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm Kellen.
And this week, we got a couple different things. We're going to start off with just a quick MLB update. Ronald Acuna went down for the season, so we'll talk a little bit about that, yes.
That
for sure, going to impact them a lot.
Yeah.
Then we're going to get into a little bit about the NCAA being able to pay their athletes directly. So I think that came out either this past week or just now. So
it was just this past. I think it was Friday or Thursday. It was recent.
So recent news, and then we're going to go into the top 5 quarterbacks of the AFC, just kind of who we think are the top 5.
Yep.
And then we're going to end with the situation with Harrison Butker and his commencement speech.
Yeah.
And kind of our opinions about the speech, what we think. And then we'll end, of course, as we do every week, with the verse. So like I said, we're going to start with and kind of an MLB update with the Acuna injury. So what are you thinking about how that impacts the Braves season?
I mean, it changes their whole thing. It changes everything for them. I mean, with the fact that they are already in second, I believe, behind the Phillies, who are rolling.
Phillies are just red hot right now.
They look. So. I mean, I don't know if they'll be able to hold forever throughout the season.
Yeah.
But the Phillies look really good, and Atlanta's. I mean, they're already like 6 games behind right now, which is crazy because they're like 30 and 20. They're like 10 games over 500 or something like that.
And then I know the Phillies right now have Ranger Suarez and Zach Wheeler, who a lot of people have as like top 5 pitchers in the NL. So that's going to be tough already.
No, they look good. And then, I mean, in hindsight, too, we kind of just were talking about it before the podcast. The Mariners just played Washington. We lost 2 out of 3, and we're kind of like, we should be beating that team. But it's also, Washington is not, I mean, they're only, I mean, I know they're whatever that is, 7.5 games back from, but it's like that gap's going to close. The Mets could probably close that gap a little bit. Do I think that the Braves will still make the playoffs? Are they still a playoff team? Yeah, but obviously you lose an MVP and arguably the best player in baseball, with the Ohtani type.
It just
level.
Sucks because it's the second time that he's tore his ACL and ended his career. I think it was, or not career, sorry, season. Yeah. I believe it was 2021, was on pace to be the MVP. Obviously won it last year in 23. Yeah. So it's like, it could have been. Like, obviously he's still a great player, probably top 5. Honestly,
he's definitely in the top 5 in the league right now.
So it's like, man, that sucks just for his overall career to have those 2 seasons ended.
When you see players in like other sports too, you've seen him bounce. Like Adrian Peterson came off his and was MVP, which was crazy. And then you see someone like Derrick Rose, who he's tore 2. He had 1, came back, was looking good, tore the second. Was he ever the same?
Fine.
No. Yeah. Was he ever the same? No. But was he ever Derrick Rose MVP, youngest MVP of all time? No. But he still like dropped whatever it was, like 50+ points in one game, or with Minnesota. He was still a very, very good player. But
yeah, for sure,
it'll be interesting. Again, I think the Braves still have a good enough team. I know they did lose their pitcher too, Strider too. So they are just kind of getting hit with the plague of injuries, which I also thought was interesting because last year it seemed like they had no injuries. They just kind of were.
They were just amazing.
So definitely it impacts the NL a bunch. Obviously the Dodgers are starting to roll, the Phillies are starting to roll. They look definitely like they're 2 top teams. Obviously Milwaukee looks good.
It'll be interesting.
That's definitely the big news for sure.
I was looking at an article about who they could potentially trade for, and
who is that? The Braves?
Yes, okay. I'm gonna name some people that were in this article. Honestly, I don't agree with any of them, but I'll see what you think. So there's Tommy Pham, Taylor Ward, Brent Rooker, Jesse
Taylor
Winker,
Ward is on,
or Brian De La Cruz, the Angels.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Honestly, I don't think any of them make them better.
I don't think anyone make them better, but Winker right now is annoying.
He's decent. He's hitting 264.
He's having a good year.
The only thing with Winker is he doesn't hit right-handed pitching. Or doesn't hit left-handed pitching.
Yeah, 100%.
So they already have the platoon with Kelenic. He doesn't hit right-handed pitching. Or, sorry, left-handed pitching. I keep saying the opposite. But it's like you can have 2 platoon guys that play the same position.
Totally.
It's tough. And they do have Adam Duvall, who this year has not been fantastic, but in years past has played a big role for the Braves. He's kind of been a journeyman a little bit, but definitely had a good season with the Braves. I think when they won the World Series.
Yeah, they won the whole thing. I think you're right.
So,
and I think Jesse Winker's to me the only
out of those,
the only reasonable one. One, because the Nationals are likely to be sellers.
And the price won't be too high.
That's what I mean. You might be able to get him for a low tier, top 20, 30 prospect. You might be able to give him like your 25 and your 20th prospect, which really, of course,
who knows?
It's not likely that they're going to be great. But he is batting right now 228 with 6 home runs, 22 RBIs, and 36 hits. You know that Winker can be good. He obviously was really good in Cincinnati. Came here and was really bad for Seattle. Yeah. But I think that they're going to be sellers, so I could see that kind of happening for that cheap deal. But does it, like you said, does it make them
I don't think with losing Strider and Acuna, it's like they can't They can't get that.
They have to have the next guy step up, and I think that. I mean, again, they still have Olsen, they still have Riley, they still have they still have studs up and down the
Albies.
Yeah, they have a team. They're fine. They should still be a playoff team. I think they're still a World Series team. I think it obviously hurts their odds for a World Series, but I think they're still a World Series team.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is Acuna wasn't having that great.
No, not at all.
It's like he has gotten better as of late, but it's like
I
think more of him. He's just like he is that team.
100%.
So that's the biggest thing. It's
I agree.
We're gonna see what happens, but
yeah, it definitely sucks. I mean, you just don't want to see anyone get hurt like that. I mean, even if it's like for the Astros or something, I don't personally love seeing people get hurt because to me, it's like you beat the team that is not their best.
Yeah.
And it sucks because he's only 20.
I think he's 26.
Yeah, I was going to say he's like 24, 25, maybe
he's
23.
Not,
he's not old.
Young.
And, you obviously see the struggle that he's having this year or whatever, coming off of such a high of an MVP, but you just don't want to see him get hurt. It's no fun. I get, and I'm, Philly fans are probably kind of going like, yes, like that's good for us. But I'm like, okay, but you're also beating like not the best team. And I get you could take advantage of it, like go win the World Series, but I don't know. I always think it's more fun when you actually beat the best.
Yeah, talking about that, it's funny. It's a whole different topic, kind of, but how the Braves have been able to like extend their players.
Sure.
The money that they're not going to lose with him being out, where it's like it's not a $25 million player.
Yeah,
which is insane. He should be.
Yeah, I don't even know what he's making.
But it's crazy that how much they've saved on extending players.
Yeah, they've done such a good job. He's on an 8-year, $100 million, so he's making $17 a year. Which for like that's a lot of money. Well, yeah, that's a ton of money, but it's like in sports worlds that's not because that's what like Julio's on, and everyone's like, Julio's struggling. You guys are wasting all your money. I'm going, we're not even paying him 20.
Dude, right now, if Julio is who he should be, he should be making $30 million a year.
Probably.
That's the caliber player he can be.
Yeah, and you look at it in the other aspect, and you go, and I love Mike Trout. Don't want to see it. He's getting $35 million. Yeah. The Angels are losing $35 million.
Yeah, because he just can't stay healthy.
He's
which
just
sucks,
getting hurt.
But
yeah, and when he was healthy, obviously he was the high. He should be. He was the best player in baseball. He still is probably the best player in baseball. Obviously, for one side. Obviously, yes, you have Ohtani who can do both, which is unfair. But if you're just a pure hitter, I would probably take Trout over anyone in the league when healthy, 100%. But yeah, I mean, so I agree. I mean, they $18 million. Yeah, it sucks, but you said you still have the opportunity and the cap to bring in someone else to fill that role for maybe the rest of the year.
Yeah, definitely.
So will be interesting.
Yeah,
nothing really going on in the AL though. AL's kind of
been boring.
Yeah, I mean the West, the Mariners and Rangers have both been struggling. We both finally won a first game in like 6 or 7. The Astros come to town tonight. I'm going tonight. It'll be fun.
Nice.
Got to boo them as always, but it's just kind of a weird division. It's kind of tight. It's only 7.5 games to the bottom, so it's a tight division. And everyone else, I mean, there's just the AL Central. The Royals have been really good. They've been kind of a surprise.
Yeah, Guardians are kind of running away a little bit.
It's only 2.5 games up, but those two teams are running away.
Well, yeah, that division is very settled.
It looks like it's going to be those two. Minnesota's 7.5 out of first, so 5.5 from second.
Yeah.
They're in striking distance, but they really got to start picking it up because the Royals look good. White Sox are 21.5 games. They've only won 15 games this year. Bad. I feel so bad we know a couple people that work there, and I just like it's especially trying to like sell stuff and do tickets and stuff. Yeah, like I don't even know. I don't who wants to go there. Yeah. First off, it's in South Chicago, which is terrifying, and then it'll be interesting. And it's funny. I'm going in August to see one of my friends just moved there, but we're gonna go to the Wrigley, and I'm really excited because he's like, "You want to go down there?" And I was like,
"No,
not really." And then the East is just kind of a mess up top with the Yankees in Baltimore. They both look good.
Yeah, they do.
Well, and that's another weird thing, especially according to I think it was Bleacher Report Baseball. They're saying Vladimir Guerrero Jr. might get traded. Top spot.
I've looked at the Mariners.
What would you be? I'm really quick. We'll do this really fast because we were getting kind of over our time for it. What would you be willing to give up for him, knowing that he is only 24 and he has a couple years? I don't know how long. I'm gonna look it up. How long his contract is? I'm trying to think.
I would definitely be willing to give up our Emerson Hancock because he's technically our top pitching prospect.
Yep. So he's on. He just won he's on 20. The highest, he won an arbitration, so I think he's just
about to hit free agency
just this year. And this year he's making 19.9.
Yeah.
So he might be a 1-year rental, but you also might keep him because him and Julio are like buddy. So
I think out of anyone, I think he's the one you take a bet on.
Sure.
That we talked about earlier on a couple episodes ago, P. Alonso.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would not trade capital for him. Mm-hmm. But like you said, maybe we could keep
last year the difference is Guerrero was, he's whatever he is. I don't know how old he is. I didn't look. But he was runner-up for MVP. He'll be 25. He turns 25 on March 16th, so he should be 25 now.
So he'll have 5 to 8 years of prime still.
So if you can, if you can sign him for another 6-7 years, even if it is $20-25 million a year,
that's like solid
your
player.
Odds. Yeah, you give him till he's 30, 31.
Yeah, I mean that's your DH.
It's a good for baseman or DH for the rest of.
Obviously Garver's not cutting it, so.
And Garver's not playing very well.
Yeah, unfortunately we signed him for 2 years for $24 million, which I did like it at first, but he just has not been himself.
Hasn't figured it out. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'd be willing to get. I mean, I would say Ty France because you got to replace your first baseman. Sorry, Ty, you're the pawn. Emerson Hancock. I think
there's got to be something.
I think you'd have to get what is his name? Who's our top pitching or shortstop?
Cole Young.
Cole Young.
Or Emerson. No,
it's Cole Young. I think
it's Cole Young, and there's another one. There's Ty Pete, but he's not the.
It's not. There's two of them that are really good.
It's I know what you're talking about though.
There is. Let me just find. Yeah, it's Cole Young is the number one.
Yeah.
And then there is Colt Emerson.
That's what
Colt Emerson. Yep. But I think in all honesty, you're gonna have to give up if you want to get him because he's still 25. Like even if you don't sign him, you're getting the better opportunities.
He's still solid.
It's going to be Ty France, Emerson Hancock, Cole Young, and maybe Harry Ford. I think you have to give up 2 top prospects, 2 top 5 prospects, maybe 3. Ty France, who's a proven MLB player, he's perfectly fine. You know, he's not going to light the world on fire, but he's been an all-star.
Serviceable for sure.
Emerson Hancock, you don't really know what you're going to get out of him. He's still young. He still looks like he's going to be a promise. You don't need the pitchers. I say you shoot him away because you don't need him. You have, I mean, like Brian Rue came in and basically just was like, "Yeah, I'm going to be the best pitcher on the staff."
Solid.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But they do have Cole Young supposedly and Harry Ford saying 2025 is they're going to be their years up. So you trade them for them this year, they might be up next year. But
it'll be interesting.
I don't know. Interesting.
Thanks for watching the Kind of Athletic podcast. Please make sure to like and subscribe on all of our social medias, and we will see you next week.